Hello and welcome to another video lesson in the data science bootcamp. In this video, we'll be talking about data security and safety. Data security is the act of protecting data from unauthorized access, unauthorized use, unauthorized disclosure, theft, modification, or destruction throughout its entire life cycle. Data security is just from the word security, is the act of intentionally protecting your data from being modified, unauthorizedly modified by anyone. Because the moment a data is altered, it can, it will most definitely impact the end result, and this would affect decision making. So you have to be careful that your data is not being modified by someone who you've not given permission to. You have to make sure that not just anyone has access to your database, because when you're done with the boot camp, the goal is for you to be able to intern with organizations and work with data. Intern, freelance, anyhow you would apply the skill you've acquired during the course of this boot camp. And when you are being trusted, let's say by organization or by individuals that gives you job, you're expected to take good care of the data provided to you. You're expected to maintain a level of confidentiality. So when you are, let's say, employed as an intern in a company and you have access to their customer base, or you have access to very sensitive information that belongs to customers or the company itself, you are not allowed to disclose such information to third party or any other party that is not relevant, even though they are your colleagues at work. Not everybody has privy to have access to every kind or any kind of information in an organization. There's hierarchy to access, there's hierarchy to disclosure of information. Not every person has ultimate access to every information in an organization, even though you're the staff of the organization. So, data security protects against both malicious acts like hackers, accidental threats such as hardware failures or human error. Outside giving um, access or preventing theft or modification of data, there's also malicious acts from hackers that affects data scientists and data analysts or data professionals that are unsuspecting. Hackers penetrate through you or through a system that your company has in place that has a loophole to have access to sensitive information about your organization, and most likely use that information to cause harm to the organization. So data security protects against such things. Data safety involves ensuring data is accurate, reliable, and available. Common risks to data security: one, hackers and cyber attacks. Hackers make use of malware or ransomware to hack or gain unauthorized access into the system of an organization or the database of an organization to get data that might cause harm, definitely would cause harm to the organization. There is phishing. Phishing is the situation where hackers send very tricky messages. They come most likely in official mails. They make it look like this mail is official. If you're not sensitive enough, you think that it's just a normal mail that goes around within the organization. But you have to, when you're reading mails, or you're, let's say someone is making use of sending you a mail as, let's say, as your boss or HR, and asking you for access to certain things, you have to be very, very careful in noting and intentionally reading between the line as a data professional. If you had had the habit of just skimming through mails prior to now, during the course of this boot camp and going forward, be very intentional to read your mail word for word, especially when you start working with organizations, because you could be the loophole that can bring the downfall of your organization. So you want to be careful not to click on links that are not that you don't trust. You don't click on links, you don't visit websites, click on links that takes you to websites that you don't trust, because these things they'll be packaged in mails that look like they're authentic mails. So you have to verify the authenticity of mails before you click any link attached to any mail, or before you download any file attached to any mail, or before you open any file attached to any mail. You have to be very, very intentional. Insider threat. Like I said earlier, not every employee has the private of having access to any or every kind of information. There is level to access granting to employees in the organization. That's why I'm saying, even as a data professional, to a fellow data professional in the organization, there are assets that you might have that your other colleague do not have the privilege of having such access due to reasons best known to the organization. They give you access based on what you are doing in the organization at the time, and it is very unprofessional of you to give your access to your other colleague just because, oh, this person works in the same field, even if this person works as a data professional just as you in the same organization. Every Before giving access to anybody, follow the proper protocol of asking for permission. You have your reporting upline, you have your boss, your supervisors that you're supposed to report to. So the moment someone comes to meet you and say, oh, I would like access to this particular database you're working on, ask this person to send a mail or something, or whatever line of communication that you'll be making use of in your organization, asking and going through the right channel and protocol that grants access to this database. Even if you'll be the one to end up giving this access, let this person go through the right channel, speaking to your boss or your supervisor in cases where you're not the final decision maker. Let this person go through the people or the person that can give you the permission to give this person access. Always learn to follow protocol when you are dealing with sharing access to your colleagues or within an organization. Even if an upline or someone that seems like a superior to you is asking for data or access, but this person does not normally work in your line of duty, let this person reach out to your own superior that would reach out to you. Let there be a line of communication, a documented line of communication before granting access. Documented, emphasis on documented line of communication. Other risks that happen when there's no data security is data loss. When there's unnecessary or unauthorized access to your database, things could happen, systems could crash, there could be deletion of data because you've given someone that is not properly equipped the access that they do not have the capacity to handle. Unauthorized access. Without even giving access, having weak password and unprotected devices can give people unauthorized access to your system. That's a habit you should learn as a data professional as you embark on this journey. Whenever you're having to get up from where your system is, always develop the habit of locking your system. If you never had a lock or a password to your system prior to now, you want to form the habit and create one for your system, because now you are going to be working with data, people's confidential information, and your system has to be secure. They have to know that they can trust you with this data that they are making available to you. So learn to always Add strong password to your system and do not release your password to people or friends, trusted friends, anyhow. Physical theft, stolen laptops, USB drives, hard drives. These are risky that you have little or no control over. Best practices for data security and safety. One, use strong passwords. Most times your passwords are required to be alphanumeric, including symbols. Alphanumeric meaning they contain alphabets and numbers and symbols. Turn on two-factor authentication depending on what app or system you're using. Backup data regularly. There will be a backup system that your organization would use, or you could even use as a person. You could, let's say, have like an external drive or just another way or another space where you save data, and this is not just on your system in cases of theft or damage to your system. Keep software updated to patch security holes. Be careful online. Like I said earlier, from phishing mails, you don't click on links that you do not trust. Do not download files you do not trust. Do not open files you do not trust. Do not transfer files, even using external drives, from sources you do not trust. Encrypt sensitive files, limit access. Not everyone needs all data. I'd explain that even in an organization, not everyone needs all data. People need data that are relevant to what they are doing at that time. Train people. Awareness is the best defense. Most times you'll be surprised that the most vulnerable way hackers and people get access to data of organization is through their employees, through unsuspecting employees that are not being careful enough. They become that loophole that brings down or causes damage to an organization. And I'm sure you don't want to be that employee. Now, we'll be talking about the life cycle of data. Life cycle of data comes from data collection or generation. Like we had said in previous video, we collect data from various sources. We could generate data from transactions that are happening within an organization, feedbacks we are getting in an organization. These are ways where we gather data, collection, generation of data. Data that you've gathered and you've collected needs to be kept somewhere. Data storage. Your data can be kept in a file or in a folder or in a cloud or in a database, whatever way you want to store data storage. Data processing and cleaning. Like we all know, data comes to us in a raw form and it makes little or no sense to you in that state. Now you need to process or clean the data as the case may be. Reduce the redundancy, take away duplicate information, drop duplicate columns, drop duplicate rows, fill in known values. These are ways you do data cleaning. There's so many techniques involved in data cleaning. Then go to data analysis. Analyze this data. Let this data make sense to you. Notice trends and patterns. Then data visualization. Visualize this data to make sense to someone who is not a data professional. Let a layman be able to understand the trends in the analysis that you are done. Data interpretation. Interpret this visualization to someone and make it make sense. Decision making. From the analysis, visualization, and interpretation that had been done, now let's make decisions using the information we had gotten from the various other life cycles of data. Moving on. Now onto the life cycle of data science. As a data scientist, before you embark on any task, you want to do problem definition. Problem definition is defining your problem. Now, What do I want to do? Perfect definition helps you to answer the question what. What do I want to do? What kind of data do I need to achieve what I want to do? So it's a brainstorming section. Problem definition is a brainstorming section. It helps you to narrow down and not move around in circles. Where you can answer the question, what do I want to do? You know the kind of data and the format of data you need for this exercise. Then you move on to your data collection. When you have decided on format and types of data, then you know what kind of data you are collecting, because not all data is relevant for all tasks. So you have to choose and pick data that are relevant to the problem you had defined earlier. Data processing and cleaning. So when you're done with data collection, you go into data processing and cleaning. Now we have exploratory data analysis in data science. Now you explore. Same thing. It's almost the same. It's the same. It's just like a more defined way of data analysis. Now you have the ways to study trends, pattern, repetition, notice things, explore. From one exploratory, explore, make sense, play with your data. That's the layman word. Play with it. Play with it, explore it, go do everything and anything to your data. I look at exploratory data analysis like you being a potter that molds clay, where you know you can beat, you can hit, you can break, you can remold, you can refix, you can do whatever it is you want to do. You can turn a cup to a plate, you can turn a plate to a vase, as long as it's still in that wet form. You see potters do that a lot. So that's what exploratory data analysis is just like. Then go to data visualization and modeling. You can use the analysis you had done to maybe just create visualization and explain what you had noticed, or you can use it to train a model that helps you to make informed prediction for future occurrences. Then you deploy this model for you to be accessible